Hi there, my name is Andrew Dodds from SimpleStack, and we help businesses build tools on Airtable using automation and AI to free you up for the work that matters. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a brand new feature released by Airtable that allows you to chat with an AI assistant that sits on top of your Airtable data. Not only could it answer questions about your data, it can help you build within Airtable itself. So if that sounds interesting, follow me and let's jump into it. Okay, so we're here in Airtable. We have a simple sales CRM that has a customers table, a leads table, and a sales activities table. Now, what is new here is here in the upper right-hand corner, you now have an AI assistant that you can chat with. It's got some ideas for things that you might ask of it. For instance, you could look at customers who have joined after a certain date or summarize interest from customers based on their feedback. All of that is possible, but not just that. It can help you analyze the data in your Airtable. It can also help you build, say, create fields or interface pages and really allow you to think through the design and what you want to show in the app without having to manually do every little bit of it. Before we jump in to a demo on this, I want to show you the settings area, which allows you to decide whether or not it's going to have internet access, what type of responses, like kind of the general tone. So just general things. Maybe you want to give it some context of your organization or the app itself. You can do that here. And then when you interact with it, it has that context. And the reality is the better that you prompt and use this customization, the better your results will be. Okay, because that is context that you want to use to drive those insights and building that you're doing. We're not going to do that, however. We're just going to kind of go from out of the box and start working with this tool. So one of the things that you can do in that configuration menu is you can decide whether or not the AI assistant will be available in the interface. And so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to start with the data layer and show how you can use it to help you build. And then we're going to jump up into the interface and start to use it in order to build different pages and things like that. I'll also show you what it's like to experience it as a user of the app and not someone who's building the app. Okay, so to start, we have just three tables here. I actually want to start tracking some payments as well. So I'm going to create a table for invoices, but instead of having to go through and do that on my own, I'm going to prompt AI to do that. Create a new table called Invoices, and we're going to go ahead and send that into the system. Now it's going to think and generate a table for us called Invoices, and I'll show you what that looks like here shortly. It's going to create some fields. Now, we really didn't tell it what fields to generate, so it'll be interesting to see what it comes back with, as well as if it creates a linked record between customers and this new invoices table. So you see, now we have an invoices table here, and it jumped over here and it's now highlighting for us, summarizing what it did here, so you can take a look at that. And you'll see that it has created a linked relationship between, here it's showing you here, customers and invoices. Now that is awesome. So I can associate invoices with a customer. This invoice could have a date, a due date, total amount, all sorts of great information that it's done here for us. It's also created some lookups based on the customer we have tagged, and you also see it's created an area for us to upload the invoice and then created an AI field for us. This is AI creating AI to basically say, hey, extract the total amount and the items and the status into this invoice summary field, which is pretty great. So you'll see that this is looking at the field and allowing us then to output this information. So that's really, really awesome. So it's referencing those fields on total amount and all of that. One of the things that you can do is you can extract information from a document. So I could configure that AI field actually to look at a document and I upload. We'll be doing a video just on documents because there's a lot to unpack there. Not enough time in this video, and we're going to be focusing more on the assistant for this video. But stay tuned on that. It's a really powerful piece of the system now. So we've now got the ability to sort of associate information to customers, okay, and that works really well. We pull in the invoices, okay. Now, one of the things that doesn't exist on our customer right now is a total spend with us, and we would get that information from the invoices. So, for instance, if Alice in Wonderland has an invoice, okay, and we have an amount for that invoice, let's say $300, okay, that looks pretty good. What we want to be able to do is see that information over here on the customer for total spend. There's not a field that does that now. I can tell it create a roll-up field on the customer table that gives the total of all invoices. So what this will do is, as invoices are created and associated with a customer, keep a sum of the invoice totals on our customers so that we can see that at all times. And you'll see that now it's created this field here with the invoice amount. It's looking at that invoice that Alice has, and just a nitpick here would be to format as currency, so I'm going to do that. So if we were to create another invoice for Alice, let's do that. Say this one was $800. You'll see that we get over here on the customer area, we get a running total of $1,100. So this is pretty great, okay? So now what I'd like to do is to take a look at our interface. So this gives you an idea how it can build fields with you and all of that. Actually, before we look at the interface, let's have it create an automation for us, okay? Now, let's say that we want to be notified every week of the new customer invoices, okay? So I'm going to tell the builder here, create an automation that sends an email every Monday with the new invoices that have been created and are due. Okay, so this is going to sort of think through what we're telling it. And then once it's done, it's going to summarize the changes and open up the automations panel and sort of highlight what it's done for us. Here we go. Awesome. So you'll see that it's decided at a scheduled time. I could come in here and edit when that time happens. It's going to find the invoice date that is 1 week ago. The due date is 1 week from now. So whatever's going to be due, it's going to find those, and it's going to create an email that shows its due date. Now, one thing that's happening here is we're getting an invalid value, so we should take a look at why that is. The reason that is it hasn't got an example to work from. So this actually would be fine if we had a record where the conditions were pulling something back. Okay, so nothing to worry about in terms of how this has been set up. That's how you could easily create an automation from the prompt. Okay, and then taking this a step further, we're going to jump into the interfaces. We're going to stay in edit mode here. I'm not going to take a tour. And let's go ahead. I want to create, I've got some good lists here. I've got a customer's gallery. I've got some sales activities. I've got a small sales activities dashboard here already. What I'd like to actually do is to create a customer's dashboard, okay? So I'm going to access the AI assistant. I'm going to say create a customer dashboard. And Again, I'm not giving it a lot of information. I'm keeping it pretty open on purpose to see how it thinks and what it comes back with. So it's going to sort of decide what tables it's got to use, and it will create a dashboard page for us. And we'll take a look at what it comes up with. Boom. I mean, that is pretty awesome. Look at what it's done here. It's doing some summaries, some numbers. It's pulled total purchases over time, revenue distribution. I mean, this looks really good. This would take hours to put together. Having done this and implemented this for lots of clients in the past. So you'll see that it's really thought through how to create this dashboard and give you some insights. It's also made quick filters here that you can use, which is pretty great. Okay, that's created a dashboard. Maybe with leads, we've got our leads gallery, but maybe we want to see as they go through, let's see what we've got here in terms of like a stage of some kind, maybe status. Let's see if we've got a status field. Maybe we'd want to see like visually some kind of status progression. And so we could create a field here. I'll just tell it, create status field. So it's going to create a lead status field. Okay, so it's created this lead status field. We'll go ahead and save that field. And let's just give our leads a couple of different statuses here. I'll show you how this works. Okay, so now we've got leads in various different statuses, and I can tell it here, create a Kanban view for leads based on lead status. So this is that that card sort of pipeline view that everyone's used to. If you're not familiar with Kanban views, it'd be similar to like what you had in Trello or something like that. Pretty common for agile development methodology. Okay, and so you'll see now we have created a lead status view based on that new status field. We'll go ahead and publish this, all this, so we can just see it in not builder mode. And this looks pretty awesome. Okay, so I could see my stages and how they're progressing from new all the way through closed and maybe lost. Hopefully not too much lost. All right, so this is another way of doing that. So we have our customer dashboard. That came pretty good. And what I'd like to show you now, okay, we've gone through how this can help us build, right? But you may have people that are using your app that don't have full permissions to the app, right? All they need to be able to do is interact with what you've built. Okay, they're not builders themselves. So we wouldn't want them creating new dashboards or new fields and that kind of stuff, but we would want them to be able to benefit from the AI. And so I'm going to show you what that experience is like now. So you see we've got our different pages here, and I've made it available for them to click on the AI assistant. And when they click on the AI assistant, you'll see that it comes up, and we can ask it questions like, what customer has the most purchases? Now there may be a dashboard that would already show me this information. Maybe I don't know how to get to that, or I haven't seen that before, or maybe it's just easier for me to ask a question of the AI. But this is how your users will interact with AI if you enable it for them. And you'll see Eve Entrepreneur has the most purchases with 90 total purchases. Now, we can actually click on to that one. It cites this person. So now I can see more about Eve based on that. Okay. Here would be another follow-up question you could ask, and it's kind of giving us these as suggestions. Who are the customers that joined in the last 2 weeks? So it's looking for a join date after April 7th. And we get our references here, which is pretty cool. Okay, so I can see, oh yeah, Frank Farmer, here he is, 20 total purchases, joined May 10th, as an example. So this is how to interact with the AI. Now, is it perfect? No, but it allows people that might want to ask questions of the data, interact in a way that they can start to figure those things out without having to really spend some time, let's say, exporting some of the data or asking you to build a dashboard or something like that. Now, obviously, if you are the builder, this is a huge benefit and something that you can use to make your job a lot easier, or to at least get you started to where you can start tweaking things and focusing on the things that matter, like are users adopting the tool? Is it easy to understand what's going on with the design? Those types of things. If you enjoyed this video, we have a lot more videos on Airtable, so definitely check out the channel. Please like and subscribe. And that's it for now. See you next week.